guys, it's Anthony from the Rag Company, and welcome to Wash Wednesday. Today I'm here with Max.
Hey, Anthony.
And you got a pretty cool car here, man. What is it?
Hey, thanks. It's a 1970 Alfa Romeo Guilia Super.
All right, Max, so this Alfa Romeo is awesome, but
Thanks.
I want you to educate me. What makes this different than something I would see out driving on the streets?
What makes it super special from any of the other Alfa Romeos of its period is that this is the Giulia Super Biscione, so it has the high performance engine.
The what Biscotti?
The Biscotti. You can call it a Biscotti if you want.
Okay.
Just don't say that to an Italian.
That was a lot of words right there. I'm trying to follow here, but I'm learning.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's off the boat, basically, right? This
Fresh
came
off the boat.
Straight from Italy.
Yes.
That's
straight.
awesome.
And I haven't even touched it. I've driven it, and I've done a tune-up on the high compression engine. But no, as it sits, Italian dirt. That's what makes it special, actually, is it's got Italian dirt on it.
Still on it, fresh from Italy. That's crazy. So we're gonna be washing that off today, if that's okay with you.
I don't know, it's kind of valuable.
I
You know these barn finds these days.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, no, let's wash it.
Hopefully we don't devalue it too much. But so today we're gonna be doing a rinseless wash. Have you ever done a rinseless before?
I've never even thought that existed.
Okay, so it's pretty cool. It's kind of all in the name, rinseless, meaning that we essentially just don't have to rinse it at the end. We can just dry the product into the surface, and what that does is it adds some shine. Today we are going to be using the multi-towel method. So this has some other names in the detailing realm, but essentially what we're gonna be doing is taking a handful of towels in our rinseless product, pick each towel out, use one towel at a time, and then we're going to basically set the towels aside once they're dirty and just grab a new one.
See ya.
And we're not gonna introduce those towels back into our wash bucket. They're gonna be dirty. We have plenty of towels here. We are the Rag Company, so I think we have a few. And then, of course, we're gonna go for a drive, but this is gonna be a learning process for you and me.
Yeah, that's
You can teach me more about this car and learn the ins and outs. So, you ready to do this?
Let's do it.
Let's go for it.
All right.
All right, Max. So, as you can imagine, there's a million different ways to wash a car. On a lot of our Wash Wednesdays, we will usually hit the wheels last, and a lot of the people in the YouTube comments definitely let us know that we did that last. So today,
Trolls.
Yeah, something. So we're gonna be doing that first today. So today we're gonna be using Optimum Power Clean, diluted at a very light dilution of 10:1, and we're gonna be using this on the wheels and tires. So Power Clean is essentially an all-purpose cleaner, but it works amazing for wheels. You're gonna see it work. It's gonna melt all the Italian dirt off the wheels and tires here. You've never used this before.
No, I have no idea.
So you don't even know what's gonna happen. So just go ahead and hold that handle right there. He's like, what do I do with my hands? So it's already pumped up.
Okay, cool.
So you're gonna go ahead, come down to this wheel here, and you're gonna hit that trigger.
Whoa. Oh yeah.
Just go ahead and cover the whole thing. And perfect, that's good. That's
Sudsy.
good. So what we'll do is we're gonna let that dwell here for a couple seconds.
Cool.
And you're gonna start to see the dirt start to pull off the surface. And then what we have here in our bucket is we have more O&R, grit guard down below.
Nice.
And then we have our very green wheel brush. So what we'll do is we'll hit the actual wheels first and then follow up with the tires. Then this goes back into the bucket. So, you know, we don't have to cross-contaminate.
Cool.
So,
You want me to hit the other wheel or?
yeah, so if you want to move on to the other
Okay,
wheel,
cool.
I'll hit this wheel here, show you guys how I do it. So, very soft flag tip nylon brush here. Italian dirt still comes off the same as US dirt. That's strange. Back in the bucket, and then go back over the tires. I've already hit this with no rinse, basically, after I've applied that with that brush. So there is no rinse on there. If there is any power clean left over, what I'll do is I will take off that power clean when I do the whole rinse on the car itself with the O&R. So that way I'm not missing the wheels. I'm gonna go check on Max, see how he's doing, and we'll go from there. All right, Max, so the wheels are done. So now it's time to wash off that Italian dirt using our IK multi-sprayers. Now you have one, I have one. So inside here is O&R diluted at 256:1. All we did is take these and filled it up in our bucket. that we already diluted earlier. Basically, we're applying O&R to the surface. O&R is going to grab the dirt, encapsulate it, and start to emulsify it. So all that Italian dirt will start to break down, making it easier and safer to clean.
Okay.
So we're going to start at the roof, hit the sides, hit the all areas of the car, and basically let the product start working.
Okay.
And then we're going to follow up with our towels.
Okay, sounds good.
So for people wondering why the car is already wet, it has been raining outside, so when we pulled it in, that is rainwater, so that actually isn't O&R that we've already pre-sprayed. Putting this pre-spray on here is going to help break down all that extra dirt.
And there's a lot of it.
There is a lot of
it. Was a dirty car.
Pretty cool. So we're both using 2 different tips right now. I don't know if you noticed that.
I didn't.
Not that I'm, comparing tips all the time.
And pumping them.
That's not something I do, is it? So what you have is you have more of the circular pit point tip. Dane's laughing right here behind the camera. And I have the fan tip. So you have more ability to actually spray, and
precision.
You can adjust this. Yep, to have, there you go.
Oh, look at that.
To be more precise.
Okay.
Mine has more of that fan function. So I like to use the precise function or the precise tip when I'm trying to rinse off, heavier dirt. Has a little bit more power, and it also sprays further, which is pretty cool.
Okay. This thing lasts a long time.
It'll, yeah, it goes and goes. I find that you'll probably run out of product before you run out of air, which is nice. So this backside, this is filthy right now. People probably can't see it on camera, but this is covered in dirt. I'm excited to see what the towels are gonna look like once we start removing that. All right, sounds like you're out. I'm out as well. I think we've covered this car 4 or 5 times by now. We've been doing circles. So O&R is now officially on the surface. So we're gonna let this sit for a couple seconds. We're gonna grab our bucket with our towels, and then I'm gonna show you how to do this multi-towel wash method.
Okay, cool.
So now it's time to actually wash the car.
All right.
Are you ready to do this?
I sure am.
So what we have here is our new Eagle 350s 70-30 blend towel, edgeless as well. So these are an amazing towel for rinseless wash. They're great for polish and wax removal. They have lots of purposes. We try to give people as much direction as we can here at the Rad Company with towels, but at the end of the day, they're towels, guys. So this is kind of what you would want to pull out of the bucket. You want to wring it out to where it's not soaking wet, but it's also not too damp.
Okay.
So we're gonna fold it into force, and we're going to do a single wipe. Roll the towel, flip it over. You can see all that dirt that came off.
Yep.
And then what we're gonna do is flip it over, and then do the same thing. We're gonna go in straight lines and work down the car. We're gonna be working from top to bottom. Okay. So after you've hit both sides, all you do is just flip the towel around. You'll have multiple surfaces on each towel, and so you wanna make sure you're using all of them. And then after you're done and you've completely soiled that towel, we're gonna set it aside and pull out a brand new towel out of our bucket and not introduce this back into the bucket.
Okay, cool.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Cool, so go ahead and grab your towel. You'll want to wring it out to where, like I said, it's not too wet, not too dry, kind of right in the middle. Yeah, that looks about right. So then go ahead and fold that into force. And what we're doing is we're not scrubbing the paint, we're not putting a lot of pressure, we're just lightly taking the towel, wiping across the surface and rolling the towels we wipe so we're not sitting there and agitating any dirt that's on the surface.
I'd fold this properly, but my mom still folds all my clothes.
Are you a folder or a scruncher?
Scruncher.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Floor man,
Yeah.
actually. Everything goes on the floor.
All right, so dude, I think it's time to start talking about this car. I know people are really interested to know how you even own this thing, how did you get it here, how did you get started with cars, and you have a really interesting story.
Oh, thanks, man. It's been a long journey. I have a shop called Modern Classics. It's actually a dealership. I specialize in the import and resale of Italian classic cars. The reason why I got into it was because...
So just Italian, right?
Yes, Italian and German, so
Okay.
a lot of Porsches.
Okay.
Porsches
Cool.
and Alfa Romeos, and a brand that most people have never heard of, Lancia, as well. So
Never
they're-
heard of it.
Yeah,
You're
they're
right.
cool little Italian cars as well. I'm one of very few people in the country that do it, and the reason why I did that is because I've been a car guy my whole life, and I've bought and sold a ton of cars as a professional and just as a private enthusiast. I'd sell like 20 classic cars a month,
Yeah.
and I got really bored of it.
Okay.
And I got burnt out, which is crazy because everybody knows I'm obsessed with cars. And I took some time off to reinvent kind of what I want to do with my life and what my career is going to be with cars, because I know that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I went to Italy because I knew there was a bunch of cars there at an auction.
Okay, and how old are you when you did this?
I was 25.
So
I went
that's kind of a big step, right?
It was, yeah. I quit my job.
25-year-old.
I was doing well as a 25-year-old, but
Okay.
like I said, I mean, hey, I love Chevelles. I love American classic cars, I just got a little bored. I think a lot of car enthusiasts go like, okay, what's next? You know, I've had a
like
car.
you hit this level, and now you're ready for the next level.
The next thing.
Okay.
I went to Italy not really knowing anything about these cars, I'll be honest. I was going over there for Porsches, and there was a 959 there that I was chasing for a good friend of mine. We went over to Italy, went to this auction, it was a Sotheby's auction, and it just opened my eyes. They had about 400 cars there, and there were a bunch of these quirky, weird Italian cars. And I went, what the heck have I been missing? Because the quality is totally there. A lot of people say Italian cars are pieces of junk. Well, any car's a piece of junk if you don't, properly attend to it.
Don't care for it, don't maintain it,
Yeah, this is one of those cars that I found in Italy and just fell in love with. And a lot of these cars I'd never even driven before. I just thought they were so quirky and so weird. And I was like, maybe I can turn this into a business. So I brought a few over, and they're all about passion too. They're not very fast cars, but the essence of speed is totally there. And they were performance cars. I mean, Alfa Romeo, that's where Enzo Ferrari got his start. He worked for Alfa before he started Ferrari. So these cars have pretty serious pedigree behind them.
Absolutely. I feel like I'm I'm on the Grand Tour right now, hanging out with Jeremy Clarkson, and this guy is a believer right now. So
I sure am. What's fun about them too is then they have dogleg gearboxes on most of them.
Oh, really?
So they were performance oriented.
Yeah.
But the driving experience, it's definitely a passion thing.
Up here in Boise, where we do have some amazing twisties and amazing canyon roads literally minutes away from here.
It's true.
So that's awesome that you can, daily drive it and then basically take it straight up there and have a blast.
I mean, it is the second biggest investment that somebody makes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about serious money. And especially as one of these, this is not going to be somebody's daily driver, let's be honest. It doesn't have ABS, it doesn't have airbags. And at the rate of which people are driving around on the streets, please don't make this your daily driver.
Yeah, okay, all
But
right.
as a second driver, I mean, if you're going to put up that kind of money and you want something that you can enjoy and potentially make some money off of in the future, what a great little fun thing to have. So that's kind of what I'm all about affordable, quality, European collectible cars.
Awesome. No, I think that's really interesting, dude. So out of all the cars then that you've driven, because now that I know you've driven some pretty awesome vehicles, what would you say is your favorite? Would you say this is up there? Or
I knew that was going to come up.
do you have a big list?
Well, the list changes every single day, right?
Okay.
And I'm fortunate enough to where I've made this my career where I can actually go out and buy these cars and experience them and go, oh wait, that was dumb. Or actually that hasn't happened in a long time. I have to tell you though, my favorite car right now, unfortunately it's my daily driver, is a Porsche Macan S.
Okay, all right.
It's my favorite car.
It's your favorite car?
After driving these, which are very fun to drive, I'm thankful to get into that Macan. It's got a great driving position. It's comfortable. I've never had a car with Bluetooth capabilities before.
Oh, you're living in the future, my friend.
I'm so old school. I do my calendar on paper. I don't like texting. I like old cars. But now that I have Bluetooth, I have to say it's pretty nice to have it.
Live it up, man. Live it up. Bluetooth. You have cup holders in that thing too?
Yeah, but they're small still. But I think my favorite car of all time is probably the Paris to Dakar rally spec version of the Porsche 959.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that.
Okay, I was going to say, I think you know something about that, but how are you doing? I've kind of been listening so much that I haven't been washing as much as I normally do.
I know, what do we need to do?
I have yet to hit the front bumper. I still have some sides on this towel left, so I'm going to hit this lower portion, and then I'm going to grab another towel, and we're going to hit the front bumper and then rear bumper.
I'll wrap up this lower portion over here.
Cool, sounds good. All right, Max, you did awesome with the car wash, man. Good job. He did more work than I did, and I felt kind of bad. I was just listening to his story, and it was just really interesting. So it's time to dry the car now, man.
Okay.
We have OptiSeal here, which is a paint sealant. So we're not gonna be putting wax on here, we're gonna be putting a sealant on.
Okay.
So this is gonna last a little bit longer than a typical wax, and it's really easy to use. So I'm gonna hand you that.
Sweet.
And then we're going to be using our brand new, revised Quistress microfiber towel. It's a 70-30 blend, twist loop design. It's got this really cool diamond pattern in it with a 70-30 buttersoft suede edge. This towel is going to be the only towel we use to dry this car. So this isn't some bath towel. This is an extremely, extremely absorbent towel. The twist pile design is awesome for drying. It absorbs a lot more than your typical waffle weave, so I think you're going to be pretty impressed, especially with the way that's going to feel as a drying aid. So we still have O&R sitting on the surface of the car. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna spray a couple sprays of that per panel. We'll start here at the fender here. Do a couple sprays. Okay, that was a little bit more than typical, but that's fine. Hey, we got plenty of product here.
I'll be learning.
You're good.
Give me a chance.
So we're gonna grab this towel, and what you're gonna do is kind of put the towel right where you sprayed it,
Okay.
and then dry that whole fender area, and tell me how you think that feels.
Pretty smooth.
It's pretty slick, right?
Yep, absolutely. It doesn't feel like there's any grit or anything going on. And look at that, it's already shining up. It's pretty cool.
So, and what you'll see is the OptiSeal, you'll kind of see it looks like it's streaking.
I see that.
But what that's going to do is that's going to flash off. So some people that are really good with OptiSeal can wipe it and walk away. I usually tell people to flip the towel. So this is the other side, the dryer side.
And hit it.
And then hit it one more time and just
that.
kind of buff it off
Yep.
to a final shine.
Wow.
So, and it makes it really, really easy.
Nice, looks
and
great.
As you can tell, this towel, that did nothing. This towel is
Right.
ready to absorb a ton more.
And I put a lot on.
And you did. So you did, trust me. Typically you'd only do 1 to 2 sprays per panel and you would call it good. But when drying a vehicle, especially if you only have one good microfiber towel, you want to save the areas that are still saturated for last, and maybe have a backup microfiber towel, maybe a smaller one, or just save those for last in general, because the sides, that's where you're gonna have the most runoff, so those are gonna dry the fastest. So you wanna hit those areas before they dry, while there's still some lubricity, hit those, and then follow up with the wetter areas on the vehicle. Then you go back over.
lubricity.
More lubricity.
That's
yep.
a new one, I've never heard that.
The word, I don't think that's a real word. It might be,
I
but
think my girlfriend knows that word.
we just go we just go with it. I'm gonna go grab a touch-up towel because I'm gonna start drying the wheels, and I'm gonna let you do the whole paint. Does that work?
Okay, I'll do it.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Feel free to get a I mean, you don't have to.
Okay.
I mean, dude, you could beat on that and like you could rub as hard as you really want. And it's not going to do anything. It's an extremely safe towel. So
Okay, cool.
I know it looks good on the camera when you're kind of like
Going
finessing
smooth.
the paint,
Oh,
right?
we're
You
washing
see,
the car.
You see all the detail videos of them going nice and
Yeah.
slow. Realistically, guys, we're drying a car. We just got to get it dry. That's the whole point. You don't have to overthink it, and he's got plenty of lubricity on the surface, so he'll be fine. So over here, I'm using quick detailer or instant detailer to kind of re-lubricate the wheels, and I'm going back over those with an edgeless 245 in black. So this is gonna hopefully add a little bit of shine to these. I know these could use a little bit of metal polish. I think the whole car could use probably a light polish, but you know what? We'll save that for another day, right?
I agree. Yep, it probably could, because you know this thing was sitting out on a ship, getting sunbaked.
Oh, really?
And who knows what kind of conditions.
Yeah.
So I'm actually surprised at how well it's held up and how nicely it's shining up
Yeah,
right
absolutely.
now without a polish.
Absolutely, no, it looks awesome. And the sealant's nice because it's gonna add some protection until, you know, that polish is gonna happen, until it's gonna get that paint correction.
Right.
You know, getting something on there is better than having nothing at all.
Well, and that's the thing, since this car just came in, I really need to take it for a drive and get to learn it, but I also don't want it sitting out in the hot sun with, you know, spots getting etched into the paint.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's nice to have this, and then when it comes to retail it, then I'll have it buffed as the last process.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna add a little bit of some tire shine to these tires. I think I'm gonna do that for you, Max. You know,
Sweet.
You've been doing really good on the show. Sometimes I like to treat people, and I think a little bit of tire shine is the least I can do.
Are you playing favorites over here?
It'll be Max's show from now on, you know, bring in some other cool cars.
I've got a lot of cars.
From your shop, and hey, you
Yep.
know, no, I'm not going to argue with that. Dane likes the idea. He likes the more obscure vehicles, right, Dane?
They sure are obscure.
But really, though, how does that feel? That's feeling pretty good?
It's smooth, there's no doubt about it.
It has that really, really slick feeling, but it doesn't make a mess, which is really cool. I mean, it goes on clear, it wipes off clear. It's not gonna be like a lot of other product that's like dyed or anything like that, or it's gonna be really thick, to where if you were to miss an area, you know, you don't wanna get stuck in cracks and crevices, right? Like old school wax. OptiSeal is really, really easy.
Can you put it on glass?
Yes, what?
Really?
Oh my gosh, hold on. Did I not tell you to hit the glass
You
with this?
probably did.
Oh, I don't think I did. That's my bad. Okay, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
OptiSeal is an amazing glass cleaner.
Good to know.
It's literally like one of my favorite products to use on glass. But you can see right where I sprayed, you'll start to see that water run off, which is really cool. Hit this back window here as well.
Okay, so is YouTube gonna get mad at us for me drying the car from the bottom up?
The whole goal was to use one towel, which I know this whole towel will easily dry this car, and probably another one. But if it came down to it and I really didn't feel safe with you using this towel from the sides and then hitting the top, I would give you a different towel.
Well, YouTube, if you want to get mad at me. Don't get mad at the guys and their products.
Yeah, no. If I really felt it was unsafe, out of the thousands of different cars I've washed in my lifetime, I wouldn't let him do this. But this is something I feel comfortable with, so I think you're good.
All right, question for you. What's your favorite car you've ever washed?
That's a good question, because like we were talking about this earlier, when you wash a car, you feel like you have to learn the body lines of it, right? That's like the first thing that you want to do to really know what that car is about.
Totally.
Right? To know how the structure of it works. And honestly, I would probably say it was a 2006 Ford GT Heritage Edition. It was really cool. I loved the ducts of it. I mean, it was kind of a pain to wash, to be honest, but it was one of those vehicles to where it truly was like an event washing that vehicle.
Nice.
And it was a lot of fun. So probably my favorite.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to future cars as well. So if you bring anything cool.
I'd say my favorite car that I ever watched was the Bugatti Veyron.
Okay, well I'm a little jealous. I haven't washed a Bugatti Veyron, so if you know a guy that can set me up with, I'll wash it for free.
Yeah,
just
I would too.
Let
we'll
us
bring it
film
over. Yeah, exactly.
The Sun Valley Road Rally coming up here in a couple months, and that's where we see a lot of cool supercars here in Idaho. And you actually were a part of that, and you kind of helped with a lot of the cars and whatnot.
Yeah, in fact, not only did I get to wash the Bugatti Veyron, which was the Panda, I got to drive it, Ben. Sorry.
What?
He doesn't know, but I drove it.
What? You drove it?
Yeah.
Are people going to be mad watching this?
Oh, totally. Oh. We'll send it to BC.
Nice.
If you don't know him, he has the Panda Bugatti Veyron, and no, I didn't get to drive it. I sat in it and I pulled it out of the garage. And I turned a corner.
That's all that matters, man. That counts. Yeah.
And I tell you what, it was so weird. You're sitting in the middle of this car, right? You can't see the front end like you can on a normal car, but you can see the hood. You have no situational awareness. You start the thing up. This is really bad. It's the same key as my old Audi S8. Like it's just, or even like a Volkswagen Jetta, just with a Bugatti sign on it.
That's like with multiple vehicles. Like actually, I was actually checking that out on the Ford GT itself, right?
Yeah.
The Ford GT.
It's a cheap little Ford Focus key.
It's a Ford Focus / Ford truck key.
Yep.
Nothing special.
I actually kind of like that about it.
Yeah.
Because it feels like it's all in the family. It's not.
It
something
is. Yeah. Absolutely. All right, guys. So we are officially done cleaning the Alfa. Do you have a fun time?
I did.
You did? Nice. So did you learn anything? What was your favorite part?
I think the coolest part was I learned that I didn't have to take out my pressure washer and pressure wash the heck out of this delicate car, which is what I do whenever I get one straight from Italy. So that was pretty neat to see.
Nice. So you can remove Italian dirt with a rinseless wash for anybody that's interested to know that. So everything went really well.
I'd say so.
Nice, dude. So I know you probably don't want to put too many miles on the thing because I know it's a collector car and you're probably going to be selling it soon, but do you think we could go for a drive?
Oh, I think we could drive the heck out of it.
All right, dude, let's do it.
All right.
All right, guys, so we are in the Alfa Romeo. We've just left the rag company, and this is awesome. This is so cool. I feel like a giant in this small car. It's crazy. It's the craziest feeling. We got Dane in the chase car and his little Volvo. So this is fun. This is exciting. So what's the full name of this car? One more time.
Here's how the models break down. You have the Alfa Romeo, and then Giulia is like the sedan.
All right.
And then the super model means that it has some cool gauges and features in here.
Okay.
But then this is the Biscione, so it has
the Biscotti. Okay.
Yeah, the Biscotti car, and that means it has the high compression engine on it and a few other little exterior appearance treatments.
Yeah.
So this was the top dog, top of the line.
Top dog, man. Which is crazy because you still have your roll-up windows. I mean, obviously it's from 1970, so it's got this really cool, almost like wood trim is how I would describe this.
Veneer, yeah.
Veneer, yeah. So it's very, very cool. It's very, very vintage.
I don't know if you can see it from there, but you spin this dial. That's very ergonomically comfortable.
Oh, there you go.
Spins the wind wing up.
Very nice.
I'm an old fart at 27 years old, and I think that stuff is super, super cool. I like old tangible things that are well put together.
And you said we're gonna drive this thing, man.
Oh yeah, we're gonna drive it.
I'm excited. This isn't something we're gonna have to baby too much. We want to show people that we care for this, and this definitely is a piece of art. Yeah. But it's meant to be driven.
It's collectible, but if it sits too long, it gets angry. So we have to drive it, and it just loves to be revved. And it's got most of its power comes in at the high power, at the high RPM range. So we'll get into those RPMs, and we'll see how the suspension feels. And it's so much fun to row through these gears with this long shift lever. It's just a treat. treat.
Yeah. It's just cool seeing all these little buttons, seeing all these little trinkets, little designs, and oh, I like that. Dude.
Oh, it gets up and goes.
This thing's got some sound to it. Feels good, smooth too, right? I feel like I'd be like in the Italian Job inside this thing,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
Zipping in and out.
Remember, in Italy, they don't really do the whole stop and go thing. I mean, they're little Formula One cars.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
That's a stretch, but they come from that pedigree.
Woo! Dude, this sounds awesome.
Yeah.
This sounds so cool. This is awesome. It's raw, it's fun, it's like, you know, it's not the fastest thing in the world, but it's plenty of power for what it is. That makes it fun.
Sensation of speed, that's the thrill of it.
That's what I'm looking for, the sensation of speed. You know, we weren't breaking any speed limits, you know, I don't think.
Well, I don't even know because I'm in kilometers.
Numbers don't match up, officer. I don't know what those numbers mean, but but it smells kind of like your European grandpa's closet. I don't, you know.
What the heck does that even smell like?
I don't know. Do you have a European grandfather? Because I do, but it has this particular smell to it, and it's a good smell. It's not a bad smell. So Max over here has been eyeing Dane's Volvo.
It's European.
He loves it, yeah. Dane, if you're watching this, you got a good looking car, man. It looks really, really good. This is the setup here that we do for when we're doing our rolling shots.
Oh, here, let's do the wipers. Watch this. This is how the switch works. We've got to show how dainty this is.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's our wipes.
Hey, wow. Bunch of cool switches down here.
But remember, you have to time it right. Boom.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
There we go, there we go.
The real thing to do with this car is to put the Webers on it. This just has the Solex system on it.
Okay.
And if you put the Webers on this, it's all about the intake sound. And they sound like mini little Formula One engines.
Really?
They're so cool once you have that.
Just hearing the engine noise from this alone and a little bit of that exhaust sound, I'm already happy. So if you're saying that an extra intake sound on top of that,
yep.
that definitely interests me.
What really got me into Italian cars is the fact of the thrill of discovery and finding out about all these different cars that were produced that America never got. There's a ton of them out there. This is gonna sound super snobby and smug, but you'll have something that probably nobody else has.
You pull up to a car meet, and this is going to, in theory, break some necks, right? People are gonna check it out. People are gonna see something they haven't seen, something they haven't heard. What's a typical day for you? I mean, is this a typical day for you? Just shooting video with us, or?
You know, every day is different. That's what's fun about it. Yes, I am a car dealer. What I always tell people, though, is I get fortunate enough to be an enthusiast first.
It sounds stressful to me because I think about, you know, going through all the paperwork of importing everything, and you do all of that. So you kind of get rid of the hassle.
There is some stress involved in it, but I tell you what, the reward is so much fun because then I get to come and hang out with you guys and share these cars around and rip them around. So it's worth it, and for a crazy car guy like me, I couldn't ask for anything more.
I totally envy like the position that you have to be able to drive these cars, import these cars, get to know a whole nother market. I think that's awesome. The one thing I don't think I could do is that I get attached to things, right? So how are you able to let go sometimes? I mean, is it kind of come down to business, or do you ever get like an emotional connection to a vehicle?
I surely do, but I think I have ADD that has yet to be diagnosed. When I was younger and working at this other dealership, I would get super attached to cars. And I'm telling you, Chevelles, or even just goofy things like old VW Beetles. So I was forced, just by the nature of the job, to get in and out.
Yeah. And that's kind of hard for me, but you understand that you have to do that to a certain point to basically elevate, you know, to the next level, right? You know what I mean? To get to those nicer cars, and you have to kind of build that up.
Like, I do have a 959 in inventory, a Porsche 959 in inventory, because it's something that I really wanted and could see value in. But I will never give up on you guys that want a cool, affordable, vintage car that nobody else has, because they're just so much fun, and that's what I believe. That's my market. That's what I can afford.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have 100 grand or even 50 grand to do what we're doing right now.
All right, guys, so we just finished with our drive, and we're gonna be wrapping up today's Wash Wednesday. Max, thank you so much, man.
You're welcome.
This has been an awesome experience. This Alfa Romeo is everything that I wanted for my first Alfa experience.
Nice.
So, Max, if people want to see more of this vehicle or learn more about modern classics, where do they go?
Okay, so I'm a licensed dealer in the state of Idaho. These cars are for sale. My website is www.modernclassicautos, that's with an S.com. I'm also super active on the Instagrams. My handle is Maximilian Billion Trillion. Well, that's a mouthful. Check out the link on my YouTube if you are on my website if you want to see more behind the scenes about these cars coming over from Italy. I also have a YouTube channel. That's Modern Classics LLC. Google or YouTube that and you will find more videos about every single car. You'll learn all about them, probably more than you really need to know. Thanks, guys.
Very cool. Yeah, no problem. That was a lot, and you're really good at this. He obviously has done this before. So anyways, guys, if you guys like this video, hit that like button down below. Subscribe for more. And as always, stay tuned for more Wash Wednesdays right here at the Rag Company. Seem to have quite the squirrel problem here at the Rag Company. I mean, he's obviously eyeing the Alfa Romeo. It's off limits to squirrels, but
He's nuts.
he's nuts. Did you just say he's nuts?